Hello, you handsome devils out there. This is Knight of the King's Cabinet Podcast, and I'm going to be doing a bit more of a rambly, unscripted Media Mondays because I'm a busy man, and I'm going to have to squeeze this in at some point to get out on time. And I just wanted to talk about space. It seems like such a weird topic to bring up, because you think, what the heck, why should I care about space? It's literally nothing. Unless you want to go with the more scientific definition, then it's a third dimension of reality. Or if you want to get more technical, it's just simply the absence of things. And then, of course, you have the vacuums and all that. But what I want to go into is just briefly touch on space and how we deal with insignificance in our lives. Because I've heard the argument come up before of, well, we're just filthy apes on a floating rock in space, in an ever-expanding universe that's empty, seemingly devoid of other forms of life. Frankly, if we found other forms of life, I don't think most people will be able to handle that well, but that's a topic for another time. But for the sake of this argument, let's just say, we're completely alone. Many people feel insignificant, feeling so small, so tiny, so vulnerable, amidst greater forces beyond some people's comprehension. I mean, we have an idea of... we know how stars work. We know how black holes function. Kind of. Heck, we've only just seen one recently. Relatively speaking. But what is it about this that just gets to us? Why do we let it get to us? It's easy in our day and age, especially in the first world Western countries where I live, where we like to think that we're the center of the universe, and that everything that isn't within our span of control, it better not be more powerful than us, because otherwise I'm going to feel pretty bad about myself. Which, you have to be pretty conceited to think that. I mean, really, even if you just want to be pessimistic about it and just say, we're just on this floating rock in an empty void, and thank the stars that there are stars that shine light and allow us to live. It's not the worst thing. We're so ungrateful, I think. Think about it. There's so many planets that are almost habitable, and yet we happen to be on the planet that is. And whether you want to get into a religious argument, whether you want to get into a scientific argument, I'm not here to make that case, and frankly I think it's irrelevant, because you're here. Even if your mere existence doesn't affect the cosmos on a grand scale, even if there are wars being waged by aliens millions and millions and millions of light years away, it doesn't matter. At least not in terms of how you see yourself. Think about it, right? An ant is pretty darn tiny, and yet it just goes about its life. It's not bothered by its insignificance. For one, it probably can't even comprehend it. But even if it could, would it really be such a bad thing? Just because you aren't in the center of everything, it doesn't mean you're less. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't try to be the best that you can be. Maybe one day we'll reach Mars and other planets, other solar systems. And we're going to have that same mindset of just, we should think of ourselves as insignificant. I see this as more of a... how do you put this? I see this as an offshoot, rather, of nihilism. Something which I personally despise greatly. And that's a topic worthy of its own long-form video, if I ever get to that point on this channel. Needless to say, when you look out into the vast expanse of space, and you think about how small we really are, because we are really tiny, just understand that you have a lot to be thankful for. You have a lot to be grateful for. Just being on a tiny rock doesn't mean you aren't important. Especially for the people in your own lives, or even on a grand scale. Who knows? And just remember, and this is something that I heard somewhere, it might have been on that dreaded meme app, I think, but I think it bears repeating, is that when you look at the stars, just be thankful because you're able to gaze upon their beauty. And that's a gift that they will never have. That's about all I got for this quick one. Unscripted, so apologize for my pauses, my stutterings. Follow the affiliate links, follow us and all that stuff, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.